Paul Joseph Watson. This dude. That's the dude from InfoWars. And he calls himself, he changed. He's the editor at large for InfoWars. Like, that's like me saying, I'm a personal trainer at LA Fitness. Like, the fuck? Come on, bruh. InfoWars does not even warrant an editor. Like, what are you editing? You're not even editing grammar at InfoWars. What are you editing to make sure that they have the right number of references to chemtrails in their articles? I mean, bruh, come on. Editor at large for no. You are just their lead propagandist, Paul. Here you go. Here's Paul, whatever his name is. Can I do this?
We have these headlines. Chicagoist. The BLM kidnapping hashtag makes a horrific tragedy even worse. Right, so a hashtag is even worse than the kidnapping of a mentally disabled boy.
You don't give a shit about the disabled boy, so stop feigning as though you give a shit. If you gave a shit, you would just call this a hate crime. You would call this the Chicago hate crime. You would call it a whole number of things, but you are an attention whore, Paul. That's all you are. And you're not even brave enough to come over to the States. You hide in your basement in London, maybe. I don't know. Here we go. Listen in.
The torture, the 48-hour torture of him. Okay, a hashtag's worst. All right. Gizmodo. Alt-right trolls use Chicago kidnapping to spread lies about Black Lives Matter. So basically they're saying, and the police, the Chicago police, who have come out with some absolutely ridiculous statements, by the way, are now saying, oh, this has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Do you think for a second, if 4 Trump supporters had kidnapped an 18-year-old disabled black kid for 48 hours, tortured him and racially abused him, that the media would say that had anything whatsoever to do with the alt-right? Well, of course they would. The difference, of course, is that that's not happening. All the hate crimes blamed on Trump supporters are hoaxes faked by leftists.
Really?
On the flip side,
just like Sandy Hook is a hoax, just like you know what, the Boston bombing, marathon bombing is a hoax. Everything's a hoax. Everything is a false flag. Everything is fake news to people like this, except for news that fits their narrative. This is InfoWars. And the reason I'm playing, hang on, let me take him off my screen. The reason I'm playing his clip is because he's the guy who started the hashtag, which has zero connection. He still yet have proven that there's any ties to Black Lives Matter. And then he said, well, if there were, I can't do it. One day I'll learn a British accent so I can mock the fuck out of this bitch. But excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry, I need a bleep there. Maybe my editor will go back and put a bleep there. But then he says, oh, if these were 4 Trump supporters, then you think they would have any ties to the alt-right. Well, you just established that they were Trump supporters, right? You know, not to mention it's an entire straw man, but you identify them as Trump supporters. Would they have any ties with the alt-right? I'm not even going to argue your straw man. You still have not proven that this has any connection to Black Lives Matter. All you're doing is saying, I know you are, but what am I? Like, if the roles were reversed, they would have done the same thing to us. Just because, you know, he needs his audience. All of them, Alex Jones, InfoWars, Sargon of Akkad, all of them needs their audience to be as dense as they are. He goes on. Let's listen to him go on. Here we go.
BLM-inspired violence is happening. It's happened over and over again. You had people murdering cops. In Dallas, he directly said he wanted to kill white people.
Yeah, so did Dylan Roof, but you guys erased his motivations, you and your comrades at Fox News, and try to make it about religious persecution. See, these people need to be victims so bad, ideologically, but financially. They have a financial investment. They're financially vested, rather, in this narrative because it pays their fucking bills. That's exactly what it does. He titled this, you know, the clear connection to Black Lives Matter, but he's yet to show us how this has any connection to Black Lives Matter. But his audience is eating that shit up. Let's listen to the rest. Maybe he says it later on. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's listen.
They plotted to bomb the Ferguson police station. Ishmael Brinsley, the killer in New York, said he shot 2 cops in the head as a Black Lives Matter revenge attack. Documented examples of this anti-white racial narrative that's been created by Black Lives Matter, supported by the media, and it leads to situations like this. Yes, there's an obvious connection. Black Lives Matter is not a group. It doesn't have a headquarters. It's an ideology.
Black Lives Matter is actually an organization. Go ahead. I'm sure you're going to do it, Paul. Define the ideology for us, just for shits and giggles. I call it shiggles, just for shiggles. Define the ideology for us.
Ideologies lead to actions. It's an extremist ideology. It's a racist ideology, and it's leading to racist attacks against white people.
And this is the exact language. Take my gum out. This is the exact language that Dylan Roof used as his justification for killing, not kidnapping, not assaulting, but killing 9 people, for which he is not remorseful. He is espousing the same exact vitriol that this cowardly piece of shit. Yes, Paul, you and your entire crew, you and your entire family of YouTubers and InfoWars, all of you are cowards who hide behind your computer and spout off the most racist. You try to dog whistle it from time to time, but you just can't hide it. It escapes out. And you know what? People like Dylan Roof latch onto your words, and he takes actions that have ramifications that change the lives of 9 families. But yet you get on, your screen here, and you feign as though white people are the victims here. All of white America is in jail. You're not even America, but we'll talk about that later. All of white America is in danger from this racist ideology of Black Lives Matter, who have organized to tell the police to stop shooting unarmed black people. Yeah. Or we have organized to identify and diagnose the lingering vestiges of slavery and white supremacy. Yeah, that's racist as hell, man. Yeah. The only people who are racist in America are the people who are calling out racist. And this, elitist Brit, it's not even in America. I mean, are politics in England that boring? Can you not make a living? Paul, let me put you back on my screen. Can you not make a living on politics over there? Or do you just see how lucrative racial animus and hatred is in America? Let's see if he defines. I'm still waiting on that connection, Paul. Let's listen.
No matter how many headlines you put up, being outraged about my tweets about that is a fact.
What?
We have these headlines.
What fact? You didn't give us a fact, Paul. You gave us nothing. You gave us nothing. And yet you think it's everything. And I will applaud this, though. If I had an audience, let me start that sentence over, because I'm not even going to insult my audience even tacitly. I will give you this. You've cultivated an audience ignorant enough to buy your bullshit. Congratulations.